right, here we go. So, um, this is Molly's Gardening RPG. It's a solo RPG that you play with pen and paper and at least two d6. And so, let's get you the overview. So, the overview is here. So, here's the entire premise of the game. You are the keeper of a magical living garden. It grows according to chance, intention, and the will of the dice. Every path you trace and every blossom unfolds its unique magic. Your task is to simply explore what the garden offers, draw it, tend it, and let it tell its own story. Your garden resides on a pool of flowing mana that helps us explain the poche, the dead space in the garden that is flowing mana. And the magic of this garden is what allows all crops to grow in any season. So there are two playing modes for the garden. All right. So the first playing mode is garden discovery. So this is where you'll be rolling the garden spaces. Um, and discovering what the garden is, just what the areas are. And then the second game playing mode that you can play by yourself is a garden tending session. And so during these sessions, you will take actions um, such as like watering the garden, hosting dinner slash tea parties, beekeeping, buying and selling crops, and things of that nature. So, yeah, here we go. So, materials that you might need include you're gonna need a good pencil, a good eraser, graph paper slash dot grid or dot grid journal. I have a grid paper journal as you have already seen. And then optional materials, pens for inking, means to color such as markers or colored pens, and a straight edge slash ruler. Highly recommend the straight edge slash ruler, but if you have a dot grid or you have grid paper, you can just, um, you can just trace the lines, trace over the dots. You'll be fine. But I highly recommend a straight edge slash ruler. So, let us pray. Just kidding, we're not going to pray. Let us look more at in depth into the garden discovery because this is where we will start and the different playthroughs. Well, not playthroughs, but like the different how to get started. So, I'm going to read this and then I'm going to do it. Um, so yeah, during these sessions, you'll discover what the treasures the garden holds. So start a session by outlining your rectangular garden area on your piece of paper. I've already done this. You'll see that in a second. Mark the entrance to your garden at the bottom center of the garden area. I have an entrance. You'll see that in just a second. Roll your starting area. You may leave this area blank if you'd like. There's a typo. I'll fix that later. If you would like, or roll on the garden spaces table to determine what the contents are of that space. And so let me show you the garden spaces table. So this is the garden spaces table. You can have small spaces. I'm sorry, I just can't quite. Let me zoom out a little bit. You can have small spaces, medium spaces, and large spaces. We'll get more into that in just a second. Um, let's go back to how to play the discovery mode. So, um, so once you roll your starting area, which will have a minimum of 6 spaces, if it does not have 6 spaces, simply re-roll. Um, and must have three exits, once going north, west, and east. Number the space outside the space in the top left corner, and uh, then make note it on your list on the next page. So I highly recommend playing on like a open um, page in your journal. So like you'll see what I mean in just a second by that. But after you've done that, you've gotten started. You've rolled your first area and you are playing this thing. So then from there, you just decide what direction you want to go, north, west, east, south, and continue to roll on the garden spaces table until you have filled up your gardening area. And so let's get after it. So, garden spaces. Let's look at that. I'm gonna zoom in on this. So let's talk about rolling your first space. So first, just give me a second to get back to the camera. Let us do that. So here we are, we're back. And so some prep work that I've done before starting this video is I simply mathed counted how many spaces I have on this particular journal. My journal is a journal from Daiso. It only has 35 pages, so I project that I will get up to maybe level 6 in this journal. Um, it'll be up to you if you want to continue with your leveling in your next journal or start over. That's completely 100% up to you. So all I've done is count out. I have 35 by 50 squares. My journal does half centimeter squares, which is beautiful when you have a ruler for your straight edge. I'm telling you, it's quite nice. Quite nice. And so 35 by 50. And so let's talk about stats page and stuff like that. So I have a title page, Mauli's Gardening RPG, and then on the next page, I have my inventory. Notice I put inventory 1 because I might need more than just this open spread of inventory later on, but I will do that as needed. And so inventory, things you might have in your inventory include fertilizer, seeds, and bee water. And so I had a different idea for the inventory, but I have settled on this because I've decided um, instead of erasing a billion times, I would like to just simply strike through um, an item once I've used it. And so I have like a running log of all the items I've ever acquired and used. So I did draw a line down the middle, and that is some prep work that I did. Didn't take long. So then we have level 1. All right, so level 1, I've made my gardening area in this journal 31 by 40, approximately 44. Yep, 44-ish. So it's actually, I think, 45, but this particular, the y-axis doesn't matter as much as the x-axis because I'm a symmetry type of chick, and so I knew I wanted my x-axis to be a odd number so that it would have a middle, a center middle, because it says bottom middle, so it needs to have a middle, baby. And if it's an even number, it don't have no middle. And so, I got my little entering section. I did do all of this so far in pen, but I am going to be using pencil from here on out. And so, let's look back at our table. So it says roll 2d6. Denote one die as your x horizontal axis and the other as your y vertical axis. And the total square footage determine your garden space size. On a double roll, roll the dice again and add the result respectively to the dimensions of the space. And so that will tell you what type of space just by rolling 2d6. But then you will need to roll 2d6 again to determine exactly what space it is and then the number of exits. All right, let's do it. So I'm going to roll the first three spaces with you, and then we'll just like kind of skip through me filling out the uh, we'll skip through me filling out the full area, but I will record it, and uh, then we'll go from there, and I'll show you what a tending session looks like. So here I have my rolling tray, rolling area, whatever you want to call it. It's not a rolling tray. If you know what I mean. It's quite literally a tin from Collins Street Bakery from eating a fruitcake. So I have decided Y is yellow, and X is this beautiful baby right here. So, on me space, I'm gonna go ahead and use my pencil to put the entrance. So you will have a border of at least one square around pretty much all spaces. Like it's um modeled after the 2d6 dungeon game, so if you've ever played that, or like, you can look into that. I'll try to link a video. But yeah, so got my dice. I'm gonna roll my beginning area. I'm really nervous. um so we got 5 by 4, and that's actually really perfect because my Y is 4, um and my X is 5, so I'll be able to center that space. I am so pleased with this. 5 by 4 is 20, and so let me put this back up, and right over here, that's a good space for it. And so y'all can look at the table as I look at the table. 5 by 4 is a medium space. So anyways, let me draw my 5 by 4 space. Um, we got boop, 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 boop. And I'm gonna get my good old handy dandy ruler and trace, well, go over the lines, leaving spaces for the exits. You will see that in a second. Um, all right. So we got our first area, and you see I auto magically put 3 exits. Let us go ahead and extend those exits. And if you are type A about the fact that my west and east exits are not centered or like right directly across from each other, you're just gonna have to get over that. I'm sorry, not sorry. So I'm gonna put a little 1 in that corner, and then go ahead and come over here and log number 1. And I am not going to leave number 1 empty. I am going to go ahead and roll. Typically, you would be rolling 2 more d6. 1 for exits. This is my exits dice. And 1 for the type of space, the type of medium space we have. But because this is the starting space, I will just be rolling the type because it automatically has 3 spaces, 3 exits. So, let's see what we got. 5. So this is an outdoor dining area. You start off the garden with an outdoor dining area. So, welcome to the garden. All right. So, um, because I'm a little nervous about this space, I don't know if I put this one like right in the corner. I don't know if you can see it. I'm gonna bring it closer to the camera. I would zoom in if I knew how, but I legit don't know how. So, I put that little one focus, focus in the corner. And I'm a little nervy about this space and how it's gonna interact with that one. I don't know if I need to put the one like over to the side, like on top of that box, or what. Um, so let's go ahead and go to the west and see what that part of the garden holds. And so we're going to the west. I got my X and Y dice. Woo! All right, let's see what happens. All right, it's a 3 by 4 space. 3 by 4 is 12, which is a small space. So 4 by 3. It's 4 by 3. So 4 by 3. So I'm gonna go up here and go over 4. All right, I got my dots, but I don't know how many exits this space has. So I'll cross that bridge in right now, just a second. So let's see what type of small space it is, and let us also find out how many exits it has. So I'm gonna roll. Exits is the light gray, and space type is red. So let's see. I got 1 and 5. So 5 for a small space means it's going to have 2 exits. And then 1 means this is a beautiful little herb patch. So now it is time to roll again. And so when you get, I need to bold, I don't want to bold them, but I need to do something on the table so you know, I'm going to underline actually, subrayar. I'd like to underline these. I should just link them. I'll do that later. I'll link them. So, uh, so let me put a little 2 right here. And then I'm going to put 2 right here. And then I'm not going to write herbs patch. I'm just going to write herbs. And then put a little semicolon because there's a table to roll on to figure out what type of herbs are growing here. And so, let me figure out where I'd like to put my exits. It's quite obviously obvious. I'm not going to put them on this wall because I would go straight into the place where there is no. So I'm going to put an exit here and an exit here. And so, let us see. I'd like to put an exit here. It's far away, but not on the edge. I don't like edge exits. Like, I know I did that on the, but I don't like that a lot. So I'm going to put one right here and put one smack dab in the middle right here. And even though it's a small little space, I'm going to grab my handy dandy ruler and draw the barriers of said space. You might find all this rolling annoying, but I find it quite lovely. So we're gonna keep that red dice in there to go to the table. I'm gonna zoom out so I can see herbs, groves, and all that jazz. So when you have herbs, ground flowers, flowering shrubs, berries, and mushrooms, you will come to this table and you will, sorry, my zoomy skills are not on par, if you would ask me. Um, sorry. Okay. Okay, that's just as good as it's gonna get. So you roll 2d6 and take the sum. So I have this one, but it turns out I rolled two of these mugs, so I get to decide which one of my handy dandy dice. I only have four. I actually bought some more. I don't know where they're at. I think they're in my car. But let us roll 2d6. And 5 plus 4 is 9. And so it looks like we're growing some dill here. Some dill. Um, dill. I like dill for dill pickles. So we got dill in space 2. I could go continue going west if I wanted to, or I could go north out of this room. But what I am gonna do is I'm gonna go back through the dill patch, the dill herb patch, and I am going to go east for my third space that I'm going to do with you. So, boop, boop. All right. And let's go back to the right table. And so garden discovery, garden spaces table. I'll never get used to this. This is how I want to live. Forever we'll be singing like. Alright, so let's us roll. Alright, we got a 3 by 5 space. 3 by 5. Alright, now it is time to roll. 3 by 5, 3 times 5 is 15, so it's a small space. And so small space, we're going to roll the type and the number of exits. I hope it has 2 exits. I'm going to be sad if it just has 1. So, alright, 4 means it's a labyrinth or gazebo, whatever you want. I'm going to say that this is a labyrinth. If I knew how to spell labyrinth. And 4 means it does indeed have 2 exits. So I'm going to put 1 here and 1 smack dab in the middle going north. Alright. Let me grab my handy dandy ruler. Unfortunately, there are no game actions you can take in a labyrinth at this point in time. Of course, this is just like the super beta version of this test. I wouldn't say super beta, just beta version of this game. It is open to suggestions. It is open to tweak. I will take suggestions. I will be making edits as I play to just make gameplay more fun, exciting, enjoyable. So, I'm going to put a little 3 right here, and I already have that 3 is a labyrinth. So, I think what is going to happen, because ideally in like my brain, I believed that you would have space to like use right here for this space and this for here and like this and this for here to track stats for like watering and fertilization, but it just makes a little bit more sense to track it on here and on the subsequent pages if you run out of room here for whatever reason. But there's only two stats to track for each game, so I don't see, I mean, each space. So I don't see where you would run out of space. I just see the space getting really tired really fast from frequent erasure. Um, so, tis what it is. Um, we can talk about what we can do better in the future. So, I'm going to go ahead and finish rolling out this space. I will be talking to myself as I do this, and but for you, it will be sped up. So, um, all right, I'm gonna go east. So this doesn't talk about this, but whenever you roll a one, as I just said, you make a corridor, or not a corridor, but a walking path, basically. So it's just a path, a straight path. It doesn't have any contents. It's just a walking path. I need to add that to this page, and I will. Back to me. Uh, back to me doing the thing. All right, we just rolled doubles. Anytime we roll doubles, 6 by 6, I am going to jot that down on a post-it note, even though I'm not gonna forget that. Anytime we roll doubles, this is what happens. We got 6 for X, 6 for Y. We're gonna re-roll and add to each. So we're adding 1 to X and 6 to Y. So this is a 7 by 12 space. Woo! And I rolled that in an area that I do not have enough space. So here's what I'm going to do. I am 7 times 12 is, I believe, 72. I do have enough room for a width of 5, so I'm gonna just figure out what I'm just gonna fit it in this space. Um, and so 72 divided by, I have a width of 5 that I can do. Um, in 2d6 Dungeon, you can um, do a thing. You can uh butt up against the edge, but I don't want to do that in my game. So, because I think that's ugly, I would like there to be a border of mana, of flowing mana. So let's see, what is 72 divided by 5? It's about 14, a little over 14. So I'm just gonna do 5 by 14. So Mulberry. All right, we've run into a mega big space, and it's 8 by 12. because it was a 6 by 6 and I had to add to it. So it's 8 by 12 and it's in this area right here. And I got 5 spaces and I'm just gonna have to do some crazy finagling. So here's what we're gonna do. If I do 5 spaces, 5 by 19. I don't even think I have 19 squares here. So let's count and see how many I have. I have one, two, three, 6, 9, 12, 15. Alright, so I'm gonna do 5 by 15, and that's 75. I subtract, that leaves me with 20 left, so I'm gonna do this full area, and we're just gonna go ahead. It's gonna have at least one exit. Um, we're gonna go ahead and connect that. I know it's gonna have at least one exit. Let's go ahead and roll our exits, because yeah, I would hate for this to be kind of a dead end. So let's just roll our exits. Come on, baby. No dead ends or wraparounds, please. Woo! 3 exits. Hallelujah. Um, which is gonna be a little weird because both of these exits are gonna have to be on like the run over area. This happened to me last time I played. I wasn't getting any large spaces until the very end. Um, but yeah, let's do that real quick. Um, Here's what I'll do. The part that I need to add, I'm gonna do 5 by 4 little jutting out sections. So this is a total of, it's gonna be 95 spaces. It's supposed to be 96. I'm off by one, which is completely fine. Um, I'm so excited to see what this big area is. So then I'll just put exit here and exit here. I'm running out of space, but it is what it is. All right. All right. Let us go over the spaces that we have, and then let me show you how to finish up your space. So we have this weird area right here where we're out of space. We have this area right here that's a dead end, and we have this area right here that I was like, I'm not sure if I have enough room here. I can fit like a, just depending on the size, like I can wrap it around. I can connect these two. Um, there's lots of options, right? Lots of options. I could connect those two, or I could, what I'm gonna do is just, I'm gonna roll and see if I get something that fits in this space, which I would need it to be 15, less than 21 spaces. So 21 spaces or less. So we can see if we can fit something in here. Um, and this, um, I'm sorry, y'all. I'm recognizing some kinks in my game. So, um, I really don't want to connect these. I want to have at least two dead end spaces, and you'll know why in just a second for a seller and a vendor. Um, and I wouldn't mind if this was a space as well. Um, and a dead end space either. Uh, but let us see um, what happens. So let's roll right here to see what this last space is going to be. If it's going to be too big, over 21, or small enough for a small space. I got a pathway. So I really think, and it's a 2x1 path. So um, I really think that is telling me to connect these. So, kind of go with your gut. There is some flexibility in this game. And then this is our only dead end space. And so this dead end space is I ended up with a lot more the first time I played this through. But this dead end space is going to be a multi-purpose hub. And so I'm just going to round it out here. Typically, let's look at our garden spaces. Typically, if you have multiple dead end space, you will come here and roll on this table. I would like to roll on this table just to see what would happen here, but I'm gonna redesign what we do with dead ends. If there are more um dead ends, so I think well, I'll workshop this and we'll get back to that in the next video. I'll workshop this. But on this floor, this is going to be a multi-purpose place where you can buy and sell things. So typically you'd roll on this table. I'm going to roll on the table just to see what happens. This is space 34 just to see what happens. So I would like to see I got a outhouse. Great, that's useful. So I can't do any buying and selling here, but I could do a lot of tending. I could do a lot of watering, harvesting, beekeeping, but it's kind of hard to keep bees and feed them if there's no place to buy sugar water. So I'm gonna workshop that and we will revisit that. And so I do not have time to show y'all um, how to do a tending session, but let's talk about this. I realized some things as I was playing. So this is called level 1. I'm going to circle that, cross it out. This is level 0 because I'm going back to the drawing board because I realized a couple things. I realized it was way too hard to roll a large space. I also realized, um, and I would like there to be more large spaces because you can do more in large spaces. I think I want to add to the small spaces. I would like to add maybe instead of we roll dead ends as one of these things, I can add vendors and sellers to the small spaces to make them more useful because let's go through this really quick. I know I'm gonna be so late. How about this? Yeah, let's go through this really quick. I still have a little bit of time. So we enter through a outdoor dining area. Here we're growing some dill. Some dill is growing in the magical garden. And then if we go back through and then over to this space, this is a little labyrinth, a little like just walking labyrinth. And so um I think what I'm gonna do is like, because I ended up rolling one, two, three labyrinths, three spaces that literally do jack diddly squat. And it would be nice to instead roll on like maybe like an exit table or just do something differently. And so we have a little labyrinth here. Here is like a hammock slash resting area. Again, I ended up rolling one, two, three. Oh, well, this is a gazebo, which also is a labyrinth. So four labyrinths areas, labyrinth slash gazebo areas, and then let's see how many sitting areas we rolled. So bench one, um, swing two. We got a shade tree. Like shade trees are great. I want to keep the shade trees, but um, I think I'm gonna revisit um the idea of the um small spaces and what you can do there. And so I think it might be size based as well. And so we will revisit that. Might call them microspace or small space. And so let's continue to explore the garden. So right here, I'm kind of going in numerical order, kind of. We have a bench slash sitting area. This is obviously a path. I did mark those. But right here, we have a beehive area. But it's kind of crazy, which it is optional. We got two beehive areas back to back, same exact size. So two beehives, um, two beehive areas. So back to back bees just chilling. And then over here, we have a greenhouse area. I'm really excited to play around with that, but like I said, this is level 0. I don't even know if I'm going to revisit this and tend it. Um, I will draw it out and we'll look at that next video. Um, Over here we got some hyacinths growing. I love hyacinths. They're so cute. Here we got a little gazebo area. Here is a berry grove. We're growing some raspberries here. Here, we got a mushroom field, like a mushroom growing area. King oyster mushrooms are going there. Love mushrooms. Another berry grove. We got growing some blueberries here. Uh, Another pointless labyrinth. Like, why are you here? Um, so we go up this long, ridiculous pathways because I did roll two paths in a row to this large space, this very large space that kind of has this like house shape. And this is a big old field of zucchini. So we go out the field of zucchini into this area right here, which is a flower patch, growing some zinnias there. And then this is a pond. 31 is a pond. This area is a herb patch of parsley. This area, I guess that's 27. 27 is a swing area, pointless, like just pointless, absolutely pointless. So we got a swing area. Um, And then let's go back down around. So I already told y'all that this is some raspberries. Let's go up into here. This is a flower patch where I'm growing some lantana. The garden is growing some lantana. And then in here we got this. What is this big area? This is a cherry orchard. We got a little cherry orchard. And so that is garden level 0. Level 0, I promise to go back to the drawing board and we will work out some kinks. But I enjoyed myself. I can't wait to like color this in and make it pretty. Um, It's going to be a great time. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you in the next video.